Hey everyone, how are you guys doing? I hope you guys are having a great day. Happy Tuesday. So, I just want to get on here real quick because as I have been sharing my book and some new people have been reading it that have never heard of my book, I got a message today and this woman who had read my book, she was very encouraged and she had gone through something similar and was in a marriage for 40 years dealing with domestic violence and abuse. And she was just saying, when I read your story, it was so similar to mine. And for me, thinking about when we don't do what the Lord is asking us to do or telling us to do, there are people that you're not touching. There are brothers and sisters in the body of Christ that are not hearing your message. And this, for me, this is a very important message for me because this is more than just, oh, get the book. This is about people losing their lives, right? There are a lot of women that I had watched over a period of time that were not able to share their story because they were no longer here. So that's very, very serious. And when people say, "Oh, are you only thankful to wake up in the morning? You don't have any blessings to thank God for?" Yes, I absolutely do. But the very first one for me, I don't know for you, but for me specifically, I thank God every day for waking me up because He didn't have to. That's number one. And number two, I could have been taken out before my time and gone to go see Him because of the situation I was in. So, of course, I want to make sure I give thanks to Him every day, every day for being alive today, regardless. There are some people that don't think anything about domestic violence and abuse because they're not going through it. They hashtag don't care. It doesn't affect them. It does affect them. They just don't understand how it affects them in your policies and in legislation and in when resources are going out, your taxes is going towards it. You don't know it. So all these different things where you think you're not being touched by it, you just don't know how, but you are being affected by it. And it affects our society. It affects our society. And when that stuff is happening, when a police officer goes to domestic violence situation, they are very likely to be harmed. And sometimes they lose their life trying to break up a very volatile situation. So when we say, oh, yeah, it's not a big deal because you haven't gone through it, the people that have and they live to tell the tale, it's something that you must remember that it has not touched you personally, but I'm sure it has touched someone or you know of someone. It's not just, it hasn't happened to you personally, you just don't know anybody. You hear it on the news. Something happened, right? A school teacher, she's teaching, the volatile husband or boyfriend comes over, and what does he do at the school? He does some really unspeakable and imaginable things, right? And that's due to that situation. So I just want to say if you are a woman or a man that has gone through or is going through domestic violence and abuse, I am saying for you, I'm glad you're alive today. And I'm praying that the Lord will help you get out of that situation if you're still in that situation. And for those of you that have come out of it and you're walking and you're in kind of, I'm coming out and I'm a survivor of, know that you're also going to be an overcomer of that. You'll be able to be healed from it. It's not going to disappear and just go away. It's not going to just disappear, right? But you can work on it. You can always get to that point of utilizing your story, which is your powerful story, to help others on their road, on their journey following after Lord Jesus Christ. These are not the only things, right? The enemy comes to kill, steal, and destroy. And domestic violence and abuse will destroy. It will take a whole entire life. It will destroy you. When people say your self-worth and this and that, well, you won't have any self-worth after that person is done with you. Your self-worth, your self-confidence, your self-esteem, whatever self-thing that you had, it will be decimated to nothing. And the Lord will have to help you rebuild all of that because that person kept cutting it down, cutting it down, cutting it down, cutting it down till you didn't think that you were worthy to do anything, say anything, be who you are. You didn't have that. So people don't understand you can't go anywhere. You can, but guess what? Someone could be potentially following you, right? That's what happened for me. I know that I had a very volatile ex-husband who stalked me, who knew where I was, who knew and tapped on my phone, mirrored my phone. The things that people think that don't happen, they absolutely happen. And when people say that raggedy statement, Oh, why did you just leave? Well, hello, because that is the most also the most volatile time to leave as well. During that period of trying to leave, that person could end up losing their very life. And you have to really nail it down to a science to when you know exactly when you're going to be available to go, right? So that's the point for me. And I wanted to share this because she just reminded me of what my purpose has always been, but it reinvigorated it again and ignited everything. And of course, over you could see at the top over on my little blurb, the Ignite Summit, right? Ignite a new start, reclaim your power, rewrite your story of going through domestic violence and abuse, and that thing that the person who harms, the abuser, the batterer, all the terminologies that are out there, you take your power back. They don't get to keep that power. And you are a child of the Most High God, right? Which means you cannot allow that person to dictate, even after you've left, what you do with your life. Don't go here because I got people watching you. What? So you walk around paranoid, hyper vigilant because they think that they have a license on your life. You can't move to this state because I'm in this state. Okay, you don't own all the states. You don't own anything. You're not even in government. How can I not go to the state? How can I not do this? How can I not do that? That person still wants to have control over you even after you have left the situation. But you don't let that dictate anything to you. You keep on going. You don't worry about that and you don't worry about them. Okay. So I just want to get on here real quick, real briefly to let you guys know that that book signing is happening September 7th. Also, Ignite, the new start is coming up in October. Remember, you are alive today, and thank God. I thank God for you today. If you're someone who has been dealing with some of this stuff and it has hurt you and you feel like nobody sees you, know God is El Roy. He sees you. He knows. He knows exactly what you went through. He knows the gaslighting. He knows the narcissist you deal with. He knows the psychopath, the sociopath, whomever it was that you were dealing with in your life. He knows about it. And it's not fake. It's not phony. It was very real. And when you made a decision to leave, it also was something that you had to strategically do so that you wouldn't get yourself harmed. And some people still have residue of that, still have a little bit left because that person can still anonymously call them and use block numbers and use burner phones and can still harass them. But you can't put out a police report for that. You can't do that. For what? The number's not going to come back. And if the person's not in your state, like for me, my ex was a truck driver. How are you going to put a restraining order on someone who's in a different state every other week? That don't work. Okay. So I just want to be sure to remind people when they say, oh, it's so easy to get out of the situation. If it was me, I'm going to fight them. Okay, great. I fought too, but still, your mindset is different. When you're in that situation, it's totally different. It's not so easy to walk away, especially if you've been in something and you're married. It's totally different. It is not like, oh, I'm boom bam and I'm gonna knock you out and I'm gonna be walking up out this door. No, when you're actually going through something and you've been in it and you've been in it for a long time, and if you come from a history of abuse already, like your mindset has already been groomed for that, you can't say that you would just walk out of it, especially if you haven't been in something like that, right? People can always say on the outside looking in what they would do, but until you've dealt with the individual that that person has dealt with, you can't say that because these people are not what you think. They're not as kind and sweet, and then you can just think you can just moonwalk out of their life and don't think that they're not powerful, don't think that they're not strong, don't think that the threats and things that they're talking about and the harm that they actually inflict, don't think that it's not real. A punch hurts. And if it's used with so much gusto and being choked down and all that, you think that it's just, oh, well, I would sit there and take that. People love to talk about things that they would do and never have been in that situation. Now, if you've been in that situation, it's a little bit more complicated than just, I'm going to fight my way out and I'm going to get out here because he ain't going to put his hands on me. She ain't going to put her hands on me because, okay, that sounds all fine and well, but you must be in that situation. That's why there needs to be more people to tell their story, because Lifetime has people a little bit skewed in their mind. Like, well, he's been messing with you all the time. It doesn't start out that way. For those, sometimes it does, and they were already being abusive at the very beginning. But for a lot of times, the person doesn't start out like that. They start out very charming and sweet and funny, and all the things that have the trappings of, this is the kind of person I want to be with. If it's a woman or a man, this is the woman I want to be with. Oh my gosh, she's so amazing. She's wow. Or this is the man I want to be with. He's just so funny and just charismatic. And gosh, yes, and then a light switch flips. You don't know when it flips, but it flips. And when it flips, it is a Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, and it's Mr. Hyde for the rest. Dr. Jekyll was there for a moment, and that is the facade and a representative that you got to see just to make sure that you're baited. So all the things that people say that they know, they really don't. And every single abusive person that harms is different. So the person who harmed me is not like the same person. There are similarities in what they do, right? And there's some major characteristical flaws that they all have, except for each of them are different, and every situation is different. So you can't just take this broad stroke and say everybody that goes through DV, it's just like this. It is not like that. There are some major things, yes, that you can see. You can see there's isolation. You can see that there's male privilege. You can see that there's financial and spiritual abuse. Okay, there's some big, big things, but there's nuanced things as well, which is why the ones who have lived to tell the tale can explain how they got out of their situation. Because my situation isn't like the next lady's, her situation is different. There might be things that you hear that are similar, but we both had our own unique way of having to strategize to leave that situation. And if I didn't strategize it just right with the Lord's help, I would not be here today, right? He walked me through every single solitary plan of it. And some people like to say stuff like, well, you married that person, that's who you selected. That's not who I selected. Sometimes people say that, that's not who I selected. That's not the guy. That's not who he was when we got together. That's not who he was. When we got married, like game on, right? A change and a switch and a flip. So when people say that's who you married, no, I married the representative, and the representative quickly left and disappeared, and I never saw him again. And people got to see like glimpses of the representative, because making a good impression for certain people that don't know him, of course, he wants to put on a good front. So he's gonna be that charming, classy, amazing guy. Okay. Right. But when the doors close and behind closed doors, nobody's seeing the monster. Nobody's seeing any of that. So people are saying, oh, yeah, that's who you married. No, 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 no. Marrying the representative and marrying the reality of a bait and switch kind of relationship is not the same, right? So I just wanted to say that if you are alive today, thank God. And I hope that you will tell your story, because more people need to hear your version of what you went through. I share my version of the things I went through. And also, I have other parts of me being a veteran, right? That's another dynamic of me, but not everybody's military, right? Not everybody can say, oh, yeah, I was military too. No, you weren't. Some people can say that, but some people can't. So there's different aspects. Well, what does the military and what does VA have to do with it? A lot. Okay. So when you have to take in totality the whole situation, you have to take in totality the whole situation, not just isolate. Well, it's just the best of us. No, there are other entities that were a part of my situation. So it wasn't just, oh, I can get out and boom, bam, boom, that's it. No, no. It was a little bit more complicated than that. So I hope that you guys will come out to the book signing. And once again, the tickets are available for you. The buy one, get one. And don't forget the free ones. The 5 free ones will be open for September 3rd. Please, please do come out. Don't forget, it's going to be in Peoria. I'm going to do my best to put it out in the Peoria area so people in Peoria can come out. And if you want to travel and you're in Maricopa or Casa Grande or Coolidge or Phoenix or wherever you're at in Arizona, and you want to come out, I would welcome to see you from 10 a.m. to 2. It is on a Sunday. So I look forward to seeing you. And remember, once again, if you are alive today, thank God. I thank God for you. And you're like, well, you don't know me. I don't know you. And I don't know who you are behind the screen. But if this resonated with you, this message, I thank the Lord that you're alive today because it could have been very worse. It could have been a lot worse. I'll say it like that. It could have been a lot worse, and you could have not been here, or you could have been severely hurt. Okay. So, for those of you that are still dealing with some of the residue of certain things, I pray the Lord will help you to get out of that situation and remember that you are loved, you are seen, and you are known. So I love you with the love of Lord Jesus Christ. I truly do. And remember, you're known. God knows you. He sees you and he knows your tears and he knows exactly what you're going through. And he got me out of my situation and he will definitely get you out of yours. Sometimes it takes a minute, but God will work it out. He always does. So remember to be blessed, motivated, and always inspired to do what the Lord lays on your heart. You guys be safe, take care, and I will see you guys again real soon. Bye now.
Yeah.